everyone, this is Heather with Wild Whisper, and I am so glad you have joined us for this video, which is our Wild Whisper journey to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona for Creativation 2018. I am so happy to have gone there with Suzy, my best friend and business partner, and it was just such an amazing experience. So I've got a bunch of video clips here for you of our experience and our journey through Creativation and being in Phoenix, and I hope you stick around until the end. We saw some amazing booths and saw some amazing sights, amazing people, met some wonderful people for the first time, and it was truly just a wonderful trip. A whirlwind. It was busy, it was tiring, but it was amazing. Here we are at the Association for Creative Industries Canada, AFCI Canada, and they put on this awesome dinner for all of the Canadians who are members with them. It was really a fun time. It was hosted in this neat hotel with beautiful art, lots of awesome people there. It was a wonderful networking event, and we were so excited to meet some of our own retailers there who we met for the first time and made some other creative connections. It was just a great time. The hotel had this really neat interactive light in the lobby, so you walked underneath it waving and it lit up. Here we are at Creativation on day one. Of course, we headed straight for Stampers Anonymous. This booth was just gorgeous as always. Not that we've seen it before, but we've seen video like this. But it was amazing to be there in life, in person. On our second day at the show, we had the pleasure of meeting Tim Holtz himself in the flesh. We took a picture with him. I was a little bit starstruck. We didn't think to ask for him to sign our notebook or anything, but it was just such a cool experience seeing these celebrities. They're truly like celebrities in our industry, and it was just such an experience. So here we are at the Tim Holtz Alterations area by Sizzix, and he's got all his dyes here. Tim Holtz has a bit of a hand in many of the booths here. He has his products in all different places, so it's quite fun to find them all. Of course, he's also in the Ranger booth and the Tonic booth as well. The Sizzix booth itself was just amazing. It was one of my favorite, I think. Really inspiring. I love these little houses by the Tim Holtz dyes. His design team did an amazing job. I wish I could shout out to each and every artist who had projects in these booths, because everything was just incredible. Here we are at the rest of the Sizzix booth. I love this pergola type structure they've built, and the samples at the Sizzix booth were some of the most incredible. They had this huge workstation in the middle, and we saw Eileen Hull herself. We're friends with Eileen. We first met her in Calgary at the Scrapbookers Carnival, Creative Scrapbooker magazine carnival in September, and Eileen is just a pleasure. She's such a lovely lady and such a good friend, and here are some of her new releases. We just love her stuff. One of the ones is the trinket box die, which I know Kathy has been loving. Kathy on our design team. There's Eileen herself. Yeah, Kathy on our design team has been using Eileen's new trinket box in some of her projects, so definitely check that out on the blog. It's a really nice one, and we love Eileen's new journal die as well. It's the wrap journal, I believe. Here we are at the Ideology booth, more Tim Holtz, of course. So this is all his trinkets and charms and metal pieces that he loves so much. He's got his stencils, he's got more of his Stampers Anonymous stuff here. So there is a bit of overlap throughout the booths of his stuff, just so you can see how wonderful it coordinates. Oh, this is actually the Ranger booth now, so he's got a few things here. There's Suzy. And the Ranger booth was really fun. They had make and takes at each of the four corners of their booth. It was just wonderful. Look at these samples. There was a hat from Dina Wakley. Really cool samples here, and a neat display for them as well. So we did a make and take at this Ranger booth as well. It was with the gel press, which was super fun. I had never used it before. I'd only seen it demoed by other people, but it was a really fun thing. So here we are at the Brutus Monroe booth. This is over in the new section on the map, so they like to group some of the new people together, which is really nice. It had such a good community feel down there. We had a lot of fun in the newcomer section. Brutus Monroe, I hadn't seen their stuff before, but they have some really awesome stamps and stencils and other products. I loved these cards with the girls in different work positions. So they had one as a female firefighter, a policewoman, an astronaut. There was just really fun, inspiring images with quotes from famous women in the industries. Here we are at Studio Katia. She is a good friend of ours as well, and we met her at Carnival too, so we love her stuff. We're hoping to stock some in our shop because her little embellishments are just adorable. She's got sequins as well, some nice shiny pretty things, lots of good stuff. They had a really fun make and take with their spinner stamp set, so she made fidget spinner stamps and did a card make and take with that. Here we are at Concord and 9th, and I believe they actually won the Best Booth Award, so congratulations to them. It was a really cool booth. I loved their chalkboard displays over here, and the way they had their make and take set up all in assembly line style was super efficient and super fun. Their stamp sets and coordinating dies are just gorgeous. Love their designs. They have some really creative, unique things as well. And we aspire to be as inspirational as a lot of these companies, so it was such a good inspiration and eye-opening experience to sort of see everything here. Here is Pink Fresh Studio, and I quite like a lot of their embellishments. I've used them before. They had some really nice samples here as well. Lots of stamps over on the other side of their booth here where I'm panning to now, and they had some nice card samples using some of the stamp sets. They have some pretty things, and I liked that their booth was also very open. You can see there's only one wall basically, and we headed over next to Waffle Flower, where we did a really cute make and take card with a watercolor design using their stamps, and we got to meet one of their stamp designers, so that was super fun and really cool. And it's neat to network and meet other people in the industry. I think that was my biggest takeaway from this experience, because I love designing for Wild Whisper, but it's really cool to see and meet and interact with other people who are in similar positions. Being in Calgary, and Calgary, Alberta, Canada, we are one of the only, probably the only paper manufacturer in Canada, and so I don't get to interact with those types of designers very much, so it is quite a unique experience to meet people. There you just saw Amy Tan. She was in the yellow sweater. She's just lovely. And here I'm showing some of the product from one of her previous lines, which was displayed here, as well as some Jane Davenport items. Suzy loved these really cute mermaid brushes with the tail on them. They're so cool. And there's some foils. We're all in the American Crafts area here, so it was a fun area as well to be, to have rather the American Crafts companies all together, because they're such a large corporation, and it's neat to see them gathered together within all their smaller entities, like Pink Paisley over there. There's Pebbles. Maggie Holmes was here. We saw her. That was great. Heidi Swap was here. We have a great booth tour of her booth that is on Facebook Live, so go check that out if you like. Here we're in the Pink Paisley booth where Paige Evans was. There she is. And there's Missy Whitten. We met her. It was such a pleasure to meet her. Made some other friends in that booth from our home province, so that was so cool. The Paige Evans lines are just gorgeous. They have so many fun colors and lots to see there. Now we're over at Chamel's booth. Chamel was the sweetest, kindest person that we met probably all weekend, so she was just a pleasure. Gave us a whole rundown of the inspiration for her line, which was really cool. She talked a bit about it on our Facebook Live as well, so definitely check that out. But it was so cool to hear her inspiration, and even working for a company like American Crafts, she really held on to that original inspiration and the original goal of her line. So it's just, she's an amazing person and an amazing designer, of course, and it's great that she was able to add a million bazillion stickers to this line, because everybody loves stickers, and it was just really fun. Here we've got some thickers, some cardstock down there, and across the way is Becky Higgins' Project Life. Now we're on to Simple Stories. We are in the planner booth, so they had all their Carpe Diem planners, lots of new releases here. It was super fun to see the new designs. I loved being able to touch these planners right here on the counter and see what they're like, and feel their inserts, so that was really cool. Here we are at the Canvas Corp booth, which includes a few things. Tattered Angels, as you can see. They've also got lots of canvas materials and burlap materials, lots of fun stuff. And Carla, who was on our design team last year, is actually on Canvas Corp's design team, so wanted to get lots of video of their booth for her to see, because I don't think she's been to Creativation before, and it's just always a neat thing to see what companies you're working with are doing, so that was cool. Love this corset on the mannequin here. They had some really neat displays. I love the old windows that they displayed things in. I loved this book creation, so it's a folded book made to look like a little house, and we thought that Emerald Creek Powders would be really neat on the roof like that. Next, we're on to Creative Scrapbooker Magazine's booth. They had some fun make and takes going on, as well as had lots of their magazines there. Here's Jackie with the magazine. It was a really fun one, and they're so friendly, so we had to stop by, and we just love them. We advertise with them, and they promote our product all of the time. It's just so wonderful. They have a wonderful business, and they are in Calgary, same as us, so it's a really fun relationship. Here we have I don't know what you call it, the virtual reality. It was just recorded on an iPhone, and someone was showing it to us, so that was cool. Here we are at the Prima booth. Again, such amazing samples. That was a big takeaway from a lot of the incredible booths, was their samples. They just have so many great artists working with them and providing that for them. Also loved the floor, how it's made out of the craft mats. That was a creative and unique idea. Can't imagine how many mats they have on their floor. And we've got some amazing art over here, so Prima did a really good job marketing themselves to the mixed media artists, as well as the scrapbookers and all the different mediums, so they do a bit of everything. I loved this painting. It was just gorgeous with the fox. And they had a neat booth because they actually had a container in their booth, it's right over here, and it was kind of like their farmhouse. It's like a storage container or like a train car type thing. I don't know what you call them. A container, I guess. But it was really cool as well. And they had a very open booth, lots of places to move around. So that was all of the booth videos, but we did have a lot of fun outside of that too, as you can see if you were following our Instagram story. So be sure to follow us on Instagram if you don't already. Follow us on Facebook to see our Facebook Live videos, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking around and even being with us on the journey if you are watching our videos and everything. So we really appreciate your support. You are the ones who got us to where we are and continue to help us grow. So thank you so much and have such a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.